The first episode of Mysterious Girlfriend X opens with Tsubaki's dream, in which he wonders what his first sexual partner will be like. He's awoken by his alarm clock and promptly has some breakfast, then heads out for school. Turns out there's a new transfer student in his class, a girl named Mikoto Urabe. Mikoto is quickly labeled a weirdo due to her refusal to eat or socialize with the other girls, her odd sleeping patterns, and because she randomly burst out laughing in the middle of class. One day, Tsubaki returns to the classroom after school to retrieve his lunchbox and he sees Mikoto still there sleeping. He wakes her up and for the first time her bangs part to reveal her full face, which he finds very cute, even though she's drooling a little. After she leaves, he ends up dipping his finger into the drool puddle on her desk and without even thinking he samples it, noting that it tastes very sweet. He is almost immediately appalled by what he's just done and runs out of the classroom. That night, he has a vivid dream about a mysterious girl that he can't seem to get out of his head. Several days later, Tsubaki suddenly comes down with a fever while in gym class. Hearing about Tsubaki's condition, Mikoto goes to his house under the pretense of giving him homework. The real reason is that she suspects he tasted her drool the other day. Tsubaki admits to doing it once Mikoto promises she won't make fun of him for it. Mikoto then puts her finger in her mouth to coat it with saliva and gets Tsubaki to suck her finger. This immediately cures Tsubaki's fever, and Mikoto explains that his symptoms were the result of what she calls love sickness. It was withdrawal from not getting any more of her drool. Tsubaki goes back to school the next day feeling completely rejuvenated. After school he is surprised to see Mikoto waiting to walk home with him. The purpose of this is to start their daily drool routine of letting Tsubaki taste her drool. Tsubaki starts to fall more and more in love with Mikoto, and one day he decides to confess his feelings to her. Tsubaki asks Mikoto to become his girlfriend, but she wants him to prove his love for her. He does this by tearing up a picture of his middle school crush that he keeps in his wallet. This gesture seems to impress Mikoto. She then explains that the reason she laughed out loud in class the other day was because she heard a voice, a premonition telling her that Tsubaki would be the first person she would have sex with. One morning at school, Tsubaki's friends are rating the attractiveness of girls in their class. Tsubaki starts spacing out and thinking about how Mikoto is his girlfriend now, just as the others decide to rate her next. They protest she is too weird to even score, and Tsubaki gets a little annoyed by this. Tsubaki asks his friend Ueno what his first move should be if he hypothetically had a girlfriend. Ueno says that holding hands would be a good first step. Later that day, as they are walking home together, Tsubaki attempts to hold Mikoto's hand. However, she refuses because there's no reason to. Tsubaki is confused by the fact that they've been going out for a whole month but haven't done anything yet. The next day, Tsubaki asks Ueno for advice again, which makes Ueno suspicious. He tells Tsubaki that before holding hands he could try communicating with the girlfriend, asking about her hobbies for example. Tsubaki tries to talk to Mikoto about their daily routines in order to ascertain if she has any hobbies they could talk about. Mikoto says that her hobby is scissors, and shows him by quickly cutting a strip of paper into a series of flowers in the blink of an eye, using scissors that she keeps in her panties. An incredibly surprised and shocked Tsubaki wonders how such a feat could have been achieved in the blink of an eye, and why she would keep scissors in her panties to begin with. Mikoto explains that's just the way she is. Tsubaki also wonders how she's okay with showing off her panties in public, to which she replies that as long as it is only him seeing them, she is fine with that. The next day, Mikoto leaves Tsubaki at a different point during their walk without doing their daily routine. Feeling even more dejected after all his failings, Tsubaki is unsure what to think, but is surprised when Mikoto comes back to give him some candy she's been sucking on for a slightly more erotic way of performing their routine. Overcome by her erotic gesture, Tsubaki attempts to hug Mikoto, but she swiftly slips away. She tells him never to do that without asking first and then goes home. Ueno gives Tsubaki 2 tickets to a film and so Tsubaki asks Mikoto to go with him but she declines, as she already has plans that day. She proceeds to try and give Tsubaki his daily dose of drool, but due to all of the rejection and failures he's curled up in a ball on the sidewalk. Mikoto asks what's wrong and Tsubaki responds by asking her if they can really be boyfriend and girlfriend if they don't do any of the things couples do. Mikoto explains that their drool sharing is the special bond they have. She then takes him to a dilapidated house and tells him to close his eyes. She undresses and feeds Tsubaki some enhanced drool which causes his heart to race and make his body feel as though it's on fire. She goes on to say that the drool is a bond that allows them to feel how the other is feeling and the reasons he's feeling aroused right now is because that's how she feels. By the time Tsubaki opens his eyes, Mikoto is back in her uniform. One day, Tsubaki spots his friend Ueno kissing a girl named Yuko Oka. Ueno explains that Oka is his girlfriend that he's been secretly dating for a while. Later, when Tsubaki expresses his desire to kiss Mikoto, she gives him a test tube of her concentrated drool, telling him to lap it up before he goes to bed. He does, and that night he has a dream where Mikoto unexpectedly kisses him. The next day, Tsubaki realizes that they should only kiss when they come to understand each other's feelings and can have a genuine emotional bond. Later at school, another boy in Tsubaki's class, named Ogata, confesses his love to Mikoto, asking her to go out on a date with him. Mikoto decides to give him an answer the next day, forbidding Tsubaki to interfere. The next day she feeds Ogata some of her enhanced drool and, upon seeing that he doesn't feel any different, she rejects him. After doing the same with Tsubaki, and seeing that it makes his nose bleed, Mikoto confirms that his reaction to this high-octane drool is proof that he is the only one she shares this bond with, and that is why he is her only boyfriend. Mikoto also states that to be able to generate the enhanced drool, she didn't wear any underwear all day. Afterwards, although disappointed that they did not kiss, Tsubaki is nevertheless happy that they walk home together holding hands. But by holding hands, Mikoto forgets to hold down her skirt from the wind, and when Tsubaki catches a quick glimpse of her bare behind, he has another massive nosebleed. One day, Ayuko Oka decides suddenly to eat her lunch next to Mikoto, much to everyone's surprise. Later that afternoon, Tsubaki asks Mikoto if Oka and her are friends. She flatly denies it. The next day during gym class, Mikoto gets a scraped knee during a relay race. Oka takes her to the nurse's office for first aid. After sharing a drink with her, Oka discovers she suddenly has the same injury as Mikoto. They soon deduce that Mikoto's drool can also transfer feelings and injuries to Oka, which means that the two can form a girl-on-girl drool bond. Oka mentions how she became fascinated by Mikoto after seeing her exchanging drool with Tsubaki after school one day, but Mikoto again rejects her offer of becoming friends. The next day, Oka feeds some of her drool to Mikoto, and from her reaction to its very sweet taste, she figures out that she hasn't kissed Tsubaki yet. Afterwards, Mikoto and Oka begin their own daily routine of having lunch together. While Tsubaki is practicing soccer, he tries and fails to see Mikoto in a swimsuit during the girls' swim class. Walking home after school, it suddenly starts raining and Mikoto and Tsubaki find shelter under a tree. As Mikoto leans on Tsubaki to get away from the rain, he notices that she has a pleasant scent, which turns out to be her sweat. Tsubaki tastes the sweat and sees an image of her in a white bikini at the beach, and they agree to go to the beach during summer break. As summer vacation arrives, Tsubaki and Mikoto head to the beach. Mikoto wears a black bikini and a sarong. While they are swimming, Mikoto explains that she is actually wearing a sarong to hide an earlier tan line from her pair of scissors, after which Tsubaki gets a nosebleed and swims back to shore. Mikoto later experiences the same nosebleed when she tries Tsubaki's drool on the way home, indicating to her that he was really turned on by her scissors tan line. While shopping one day, Tsubaki bumps into Oka. She talks to him about using first names with her boyfriend, Ueno. Oka figures out that Mikoto and Tsubaki do not use each other's first names. One day, as they're walking home from school together, Tsubaki and Mikoto stop at the park and Tsubaki whispers Mikoto's name into her ear as she's sleeping. This seems to make her happy, but neither of them are willing to talk about it. The next day, Tsubaki blurts out that he wants a photo of Mikoto as they are walking to school. She agrees at first but then changes her mind. Later, after school, Tsubaki is waiting for Mikoto when suddenly his old middle school crush, Hayakawa, invites him to a cafe to talk about old times. After he turns down the invitation, Tsubaki finds Mikoto hiding not far away. She says she didn't want to interrupt their conversation. On their way back, they talk about Tsubaki's encounter with Hayakawa. He reaffirms his feelings for Mikoto, saying that she's the only one he loves, which makes her smile. He subsequently whips out his camera and asks her to smile for the photo, but she sticks her tongue out instead. While it's not the kind of photo he wanted, he says that he will treasure it anyway, and puts it in his wallet. Mikoto's mouth overflows with drool, showing how happy she is. That's all for today's recap. If you want to know what happens next on Mysterious Girlfriend X, please like this video and leave a comment down below.